Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's SEO Q&A session with me and Mr. Chris Palmer, SEO. Sponsored by ODYS, top right-hand corner. The link is below the video if you're interested in getting a free $100 sign-up bonus just for checking out their domain names. So if you're interested in aged domains and you want to take advantage of a ready-made backlink profile, check them out as well. But other than that, Chris, whilst people are piling in, we have Fred. Good to see you again, early Fred. 450 on the button. Jonesy, looking forward to a few beers in a few weeks. Jonesy. Loud Egg, black shirt, yay. Floating head back. So the floating head is back. But Chris,
I'm back.
With calling you the floating head, what is new? What is happening in the world of Palmer?
I don't think anything new. I think just more of the same thing, really. Nothing
More
new.
of the same thing.
Played around with those memberships on YouTube. That's kind of cool.
How did that go, actually?
It's pretty unique. It's interesting. You know, they get access to different videos. It's pretty cool. You know, and then you get to add your own little pictures that show up inside the comments. So I like it.
And people are signing up for that, no problem at all.
They're signing up, no problem at all, but not super rapid, but that's okay. It's cool, though.
Yeah. Why not?
Help the channel.
Exactly. Exactly.
But nah, that's about it. The memberships, nothing else new. I think everything's the same as usual. That's how I like it. You know?
Loud Egg, Palmer's membership is pretty cool. So how many videos are you cranking out in this membership thing?
So there's a lot of videos that usually, it depends on what's going on in the video. Like if I show stuff that I'm like, do I want 1,000 people to see this? You know, I'll usually just make it membership. But right now I think there's 40 in there.
Nice.
So many hours in there. But yeah, it's pretty much, depends on what I'm talking about, I'll kick it over there. Or if it's just something quick and short, I'll throw it over there. If I get enough people in there, I'm thinking about maybe do like a members only like live stream. So I think that'll be fun. Answer the questions just from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be cool.
But is that not similar to your mastermind anyway?
The same kind of thing, but it's on YouTube. Yeah, and I included the newsletter that I send out every week. Like it's just one test a week. So I included that in the membership at the higher level. So I thought it'd be cool. I was just testing it out, see how many people like, hey, do I get more takers on the actual site or is YouTube better? So that's really why I tried it. So I'm really just wanted to do the newsletter. Yeah. I was inspired by Steve Toth.
Oh, Steve doing it as well?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try it now. I'm going to have to copycat. Normally I wait to see how it goes, let other guys go for it, but that's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Prabat is here. Ankit can't see us, but Ankit, if you leave and come back, hopefully you should be able to see us.
We're here.
Great value, especially at that price. Ankit's going to come back, but we do have a first question. Now, guys, bear in mind, we are here to answer as many of your questions as we possibly can, within reason, of course. So do put your questions in the chat and we will go through as many of them as we possibly can. If you do enjoy the content, please do leave us a little like and subscribe as well. But Yuri or Jury, what would you suggest someone who is starting offering SEO services? What is the best way approach you suggest nowadays to gain traction ASAP? This is a very loaded question. Without knowing your background, without knowing what your actual skill set is, it's very difficult to answer. You know, how do you start offering networking, being in the community, offering value up front, participating in group conversations? Are great ways to interact with other people, but you do need a specialist topic. I think, you can't just come in and say, I'm new to SEO and I'm selling all this shit, websites, fucking links, this, that, the next thing. You have to be known for something. Whether that be link building, whether that's working on GMBs, whether that's, I don't know, whatever, you can really niche down, BNI groups, but also, go into people like Jonesy's got a group there of the GMB pros, which he's teaching people how to do the GMB thing. And obviously there's people in there who are all learning and maybe sharing work around, and there's a guy that's doing a bit of CTR, there's a guy doing a bit of this and a bit of that. So these are things that it all really depends on what your passion is, what you're good at and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, Chris, would you see anything different from that, or what would you suggest?
Well, I think different people will give different answers depending on their past experience. So like, productized services or only individual services or niche specific services. So I think you'll get varying answers for sure. But I think, what can you consistently deliver positive results for the client that you don't mind doing, that you could scale, that's actually going to bring the margin in, is where I would start. What can you guarantee that you can deliver? And then as far as that's concerned, I think you covered the rest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not much else you can say on top of that. And that kind of counts for you as well, Sam Harris. How to get your first SEO web design clients? Network, join groups, talk to people. People are always happy to outsource parts of that work, whether you go to a web design group and they're maybe looking to outsource the SEO element or whatever. Just be creative, get out, talk to folks.
Yeah.
And there's no quick special place where you go where there's hordes of people waiting. Just got to hustle, talk the talk, and see what happens. Prabat is asking what we're going to discuss today. So we spoke last week, Chris, where we were like, do you want us to talk about something specific this week? In the comments, people were basically saying they like this format. So we are sticking with the Q&A format, where the topic will be up to you. It can be a whole bunch of topics. We're happy to answer whatever. So if you've got questions, Prabat, put them in the chat. We will get to them
Sure.
on a first come, first service, it's first serve basis. So there you go. And also a little shout out to SEOunderground.co.uk if you want to come to an event in the UK, London Stansted, 4th of October. Chris Palmer's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Jonesy's going to be there. Holly Starks is going to be there, and a whole bunch of other people. So do check that out.
All stars.
SEOunderground.co.uk. So check that out. But yeah, it is an All-Stars one, Chris. I'm looking forward to it. So
Oh, yeah.
I am flying in the Monday morning with Holly Starks, leaving. So we're leaving American Sunday night, get there on Monday morning. So we will do it Monday. Flying from Nashville. So there you go. Chamber of Commerce is good in the UK.
There you go.
Yuri is saying building niche site or authority blog under your own name and surname, like Adam Enfoy. Chris, I'm curious, right? I'm going to ask you first before I give my opinion on this. You've obviously built a website and a business under your own name. Should you have built a niche website, or should you have built an authority website that's not your name, is what I'm asking. Why do we pick our own names? Now, I've obviously picked my own name. My brand is me. Have I done that right? I'm not so sure. But Chris, I'm curious to know your thoughts on it.
I think you want to build up your own name and build a brand or an entity around yourself. I think that's one piece of the puzzle. But I think as you grow, I can't start at the end first, right? So Do I feel that it would be better for long-term success to start with both, where I have something that is more brandable? I think that would have been wiser. Yes, for sure. I like having a brand or a logo instead of a face. Can be very helpful depending on what you're selling or offering. And then as far as an authority site or niche site, I think that's wildly dependent on how fast do you want to succeed. I think the authority site for long-term success might be better over time, but I think a niche specific site around one thing, offering one thing, can get you to the finish line a little bit faster, in my opinion.
I would also say, just to add to that, or what I was saying earlier, I look at people with a personal brand, and then I look at Brian Dean, who had Backlinko.
Yep.
Backlinko was able to sell that brand to SEMrush probably 6 months ago or whatever it was. Now, why did SEMrush buy it? Yes, Brian Dean has offered a lot of value, a lot of videos and everything else, but it's a brand. They didn't buy Brian Dean. Now, who the fuck is going to buy Chris Palmer, and what would you do with it?
Right.
Unless you're Chris Palmer, it's not valuable. It's the same with me. So if you're thinking of potentially reselling like Brian Dean has done and getting that big chunk of money, that's something I would just throw out there. I'm not saying it's wrong to build a personal brand. It's been massively successful for me. But someone like Jonesy, for example, right? Jonesy has his company Rank Fortress or whatever. You could sell that shit off, no problem at all.
Sure.
People still know who Jonesy is. So you can do both, but Jonesy, he might have WilliamJones.com or whatever, but Jonesy has probably done it the way I should have done it, but I'm too far in to backtrack now. So it is what it is. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. And that might give you some food for thought. But Jonesy's also talking about another goldmine is joint ventures with other agencies that don't offer SEO but do offer other services.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Rolls, good to see you, mate. What niches have you had the most success in, Chris? Are you prepared to release that information?
Other than SEO, coupons.
Yeah.
And
other
travel.
than SEO coupons, travel.
Yeah, travel clubs, coupons, and SEO.
I'm happy to disclose that privately, Mark, if you want a genuine answer. I've worked in many niches, and a lot of people I've shown what I do privately. I'm just not sure I want to share what niches I'm in on here. What I will say is they are untapped niches, which is the reason I'm hiding it to some degree. Niches I've been successful in, though. I have done travel in the past. I have done golf in the past. I do SEO. A lot of people think you have to do another thing. I've made a lot of money selling affiliate or doing affiliate for SaaS products around the digital marketing industry itself, because that's first-hand knowledge for me, and focus on that as well. Why do you always have to branch out into something else? Now, yes, I am involved in other niches that are decent and make decent money, and I was actually talking to a fella about 3 o'clock today. I had a call with him, and we're talking about it, and he was interested. It was at one of Mike Pierce's friends, actually, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Mike says you're in this niche," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Dude, that's fucking genius." He's like, "Don't fucking tell the public about it." His words were, "Don't tell the public about it," because he wants to also come into that niche in a different country. So yeah, hopefully that gives you some form of answer, Mark, but probably not what you're looking for. Rosa, I will definitely email you straight after this show. I'm going to I have got your emails, and I'll explain why I've not replied. Nothing to do with being lazy or anything. I have just had a really busy, hectic couple of weeks, but I have got your emails, and I will jump on a call with you tomorrow. But I am going to literally message you straight after this or during this call. So we will do it tomorrow if you're around or any other time after that. Am I free tomorrow at all? I can call you in the afternoon around 2 or 3. What I'll do is I can do that, no problem at all. I will send you a Zoom link after this call, and we'll just do it. Let's arrange it live on air so that you can heckle me if I don't show up. Because I know it's a pain in the ass. I always moan at Chris. I'm like, Chris, fucking answer people, because when Chris doesn't answer people, somehow people come to me saying, go and fucking tell Chris. And I'm like, I'm not his fucking VA or PA. You don't fucking tell him yourself. But
he's on the boat. Hey, Chris,
so I will send that Zoom link. When you say 2 or 3, just confirm, Rosa, is that UK time or what time zone are you in? Let me know, and then I'll send the Zoom link. Anyway, enough of that. Sam Harris, what's your thoughts on pay-per-lead, Chris?
I think there's potential there, just like with any niche, but I'm sure there's hurdles. It's not necessarily something I'm dabbled in on more than one site currently, but I think pick your niche wisely and trust who you're working with. That's another big one. Yeah. Be mindful. How about you? What do you think? No dice?
I would reiterate what you say. Be careful when you pick your niche. Like, I've done not pay-per-lead before. I used to do a lot of rank and rent. It's the same thing. It doesn't really matter. Call it what you like. But the point I'm trying to make is I used to do it a lot with sash window companies, double glazing, roofers, gutter cleaning, and they were not the right guys to be doing it with. They are not the right guys to be doing it with. The cost per lead is too low. The guys in that or those type of niches don't value it. So I would always be looking for lawyers, dentists, cosmetic surgeons, something of a higher ticket item if you were going to do it. Because, that's just my experience tells me that that's the right thing to do.
Same amount of work. Same work. Yeah.
Well, that's the fucking thing. And I keep saying that to people when they enter affiliate marketing. People say, what mistakes have you made, Craig? What shouldn't we do? And I'm like, I entered the golf niche with my golf website. And yes, it was successful. But it cost me the same amount of money for content and links because I was outsourcing that part.
Right.
It cost me the same amount. And my average product sale value was $20. Now, it was selling golf t-shirts, golf jackets, blah, 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 blah. It cost me the same fucking money as it would have to sell a fucking set of golf clubs or, something of a much higher ticket item. So I was just like, smash it out, keywords. Yep. That was the wrong approach. So
lessons
to be learned.
Oh, yeah.
I make more mistakes than most. So do listen, guys.
Me too.
How to build a good eat? Sacklane is asking. How do you build EAT, Chris? Just in simple terms.
I think building out the business's overall profile is going to be effective for building out authority. And then I think the elements on page, like break it down. What are they looking for? Contact page, an email that's relevant, privacy, compliancy policies. I think breaking down and going through the white paper or utilizing a tool that will pull in the factors so you can go and add them, I think that'll get you on the right track. That's what I would aim for.
Yeah, I would agree. Another question from Sacklane I don't think we can answer. How to handle every good update?
Just hold on, you're in. Just hold on and go through it. I mean, it's going to happen. It's up and it's down. Sometimes you'll win. Sometimes you'll get cracked. On some of the updates, people will be like, hey, my site's going crazy. And you're like, wow, I went up. Other times it's going to be the other way around. So just note that's part of it. But follow good practices and the amount of times that you go down will happen less for you, So
the question or what I read from this is, someone wants a magic bullet, one fix. It's going to cover you for every update. No one, and I mean no one, knows the right answer to that. exactly. And it's not something that anyone can determine. If Google are going to throw a curveball at you, it's going to happen, and you're going to have to adapt your position. And that's it. That's the only way you can see it. Adapt your position. Then something else might be working really well in 6 months' time, and we're all going to adapt and adopt that approach. So no one has that right answer. But like Chris says, key little bit there is follow best practices as best you possibly can.
For sure. Limit shortcuts. Spend your money up front. You'll just find much better success and have less downtimes. Like it's always, they're just nipping in the bud shortcuts.
Yeah.
So if allocate good budget towards your content, make sure there's good on page, make sure you're technically sound, like start with a good host, like all the stuff that but you take shortcuts on, maybe not launch out in 10 cities, but do it right in 5, So I think it's always like they're slapping down any of the shortcuts. And then stuff that you just skimped on or you didn't do it right to begin with. That's where I always get whacked. So I'm sure it's got to be the same for everyone else.
And I will reiterate, we both like shortcuts. So
oh yeah,
shortcuts.com. They're not always good. So I know that may seem strange saying that, but we have to do the job as best we possibly can, and that's it for the longer term. But Paul Hogden says Neil Patel says he regrets selling under his own name. Listen, I don't know if I could if I would ever say I regret it, but it's been good. However, there are flaws and potential. I can't sell that brand and various things like that. So it's got its pros and its cons. But hey, we chose that path. We see it through. End of story.
But that's interesting, though. Like him saying that and then turning around and buying into a list and a customer base and bringing it in-house, like under his name.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But Prabat has a question. What is most important for increasing your ranking of service area business?
Organically or in maps? Or both, right? What's most important? I hate to sound redundant, but I think, at least organically, I think that it's the stuff that I think a well-structured website is massively important. Good internal linking is massively important. Building into the link graph is massively important. Getting the links that your competition has, getting listed on niche specific directories, whether they're paid or not, is massively important. And then as far as maps, it always comes down to clicks and traffic. So I think for maps, I would buy the clicks and traffic until you get in position and build enough authority. So the most important for maps, clicks and traffic. So buy it, send it into the profile. Organic, it's content, internal links, and backlinks overall. If I had to boil it down. Yeah.
Good info. Rosa, I've just sent you an email. I can't do 3 p.m. tomorrow because my mastermind's on between 3 and 4. But I can do 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. Let me know via email. Darren Muzzy is here. Hello, friends from Old PC Games. Harry Minge is back to see you, Chris.
Good to see you.
Is saying that they would use the brand name rather than personal name. I will ping you, Mark. Randy's here. Good to see you, Mr. Rode. Digital Decks. Hope you're well, bud. What advice would you give to someone who's looking to build a backlink a week for free for a new niche site, Harrow? Scrape competitor links and try and steal them. Any other ideas? So the for free part is
interesting twist
on it.
Yeah.
But Chris, bearing that part in mind, the for free, how would you get a link a week? Is it possible?
I mean, is it possible? Sure, but which level of links, assets are you able to acquire that way? You might, if you hypothetically actually were able to find somebody that's willing to offer a link for an actual piece of content without any price associated. Could potentially happen. I'm sure there's sites out there that would consider such a thing. But I think the best way to do it would be scrape competition, figure out what's authoritative, what's the low-hanging fruit that you could go and build into the link graph with. If it has to be free, that's what I would do. Who's top performers for each of the keywords? Go take a look at their backlink profile. It's sorted by DR or overall referring domain counts. And then figure out, hey, what's the low-hanging fruit that I could just go build that's free? I'd start there. But also, too, if you're taking the time to do that site by site, you might as well take the time to pull in emails and maybe just do a little bit of outreach. It's not much to send out 100 emails a day.
Yeah.
You know, at least try, especially if you need to go the free route. And so if you're doing free, that means you have time. So if you have time, you can allocate that time towards, I'm sure you could work out something if you had to, you know. So I think that's the best opportunity.
And also, I just want to give you a little bit of a story as such as well, Digital Dex. Harrow, yes, of course, you can go on there. However, are you going to get a backlink a week in Harrow for your niche? Now, yes, you might be able to, but I had a friend who, we found this Harrow person, and I had a friend, he's like, give me this girl's details, I want fucking Harrow, blah, 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 blah. And he waded in, he's like, yeah, to the girl, I want 50 links a month. And the girl was like, fuck's sake, she went, I can't. And the guy's like, wow, he came back to me, she fucking said she can't, she doesn't want my money, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, there's not 50 stories that journalists are looking for a month in your very specific niche, dude. So, yes, Harrow's an option, but is it something that should be ongoing weekly? That's niche dependent. So you have to come up with other ideas or money to be able to get those links. You know, there's ways to trick people, doing the image trick that I've spoken about before. There's loads of ways to kind of prey on vulnerable people to get a free link. I'm not suggesting that that's the right thing to do, but you know, it's how you present it, how you pressure that person. And when I say the image trick, basically, if you Google something like Liverpool Echo image unknown, they've got a million images that they don't know who they belong to. They are quite happy to cite you if you can suggest that that's your image. So there's things like that you can do to get links and stuff. Whether that's morally correct or the right thing to be doing is obviously up to anyone. But you know, when push comes to shove, or when your back's against the wall, you know, the mindset changes. So can it be done? Yes, there is a few tricks, old school tricks out there where you might be able to get yourself a couple of links and whatnot. But hey, just food for thought there. But hopefully that helps you, Digital Dex. Mark Rolls is moving away from SEO, service SEO, to getting back into affiliate and niche sites, which I started with when doing SEO years ago, and when Chris was probably a wee nipper. Come on, man. I was a wee nipper. Chris is the old one here, Mark. Let's not kid ourselves.
We do look the same age, though.
No, come on, Chris.
I need to take a nap.
You look about 50. Come on, man.
Do I, man? It
Dude,
has.
you don't fucking... What age are you again? About 33?
37. 37.
37?
Yeah.
You liar. You told me you were 33 before.
Well, maybe when we first met.
Dude, I had you younger than that. 37?
No, 37. Yeah, 37.
I'd still say you look in your 40s.
40s, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Dude, you've had a fucking rough paper round. But people will say that about me as well. So, hey, I'm just throwing the insults Chris's way as well. Old PC games, when a person doesn't have any money to start, how good, bad is creating links using Blogspot, WordPress, Medium? Is that a good place to start at all, Chris?
Well, so can you utilize those assets for further link building? Perhaps as part of a tier 1, but I think that there could be much better opportunities. So if you're just starting out, at least in the local space, you can go around and collect directories and citations for free. You know, maybe I'd start there if I was in the local space. But, you know, without a backup plan, utilizing, say, a Blogspot or a WordPress, free WordPress, if you're not going to tier that, I don't see why I would set those up. Unless you just want to go out there and get your name on there,
Yeah.
But as far as a link strategy, I think there should be some backup power,
I agree. Also, another person who wants to start from scratch today with no money. What is it with the no money people today? Yeah. What would you, by the way, no, I'm only joking. We all started with no money. What would you do to start generating some money relatively fast? Blogging, affiliate is good to do on the side, but it takes time. For me, Chris, I'm not sure whether you agree, but I would be piling into local GMB stuff. I think that can be done relatively, I'm not going to say easy because that's unfair to say that, but it can be done relatively fast. The learning curve's relatively fast. And I'm not sure, would you agree with that?
I think that's fast, but for me, I'd be looking to get on with somebody that's doing what I potentially want to do. So like if I wanted to, if I didn't have any money and I really wanted to get into what I wanted to do fast, I'm sure you could find one person that would be willing to take you on and help. You could help out somehow. So I'd be looking to get on with somebody else. Like if I wanted to do it fast and I didn't want to spend money, but I had time, I'm willing to work. That's what I'd be looking for. Who can I get on with? Who's going to put me on? That's what I'd be looking for, personally.
Cool. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm willing to work. I'm here. I'm ready. And then show up. Be willing to do stuff, free if you had to, at least at first.
On the way, I'm just sending Rosa a Zoom request. So I've done it whilst I'm on the call. So I've got no excuses, Rosa. You've got me. Anyway, I see you've answered so probably missed the answer. Skip if so. I just want to know what Craig and Chris would personally do. So, yeah, I think for me, there's so many things you could do in this industry that you could just, as I said earlier, link building or whatever. Even throwing websites together, doing hosting. These are all things that you can do and make some money, set up emails and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of opportunities, just think basic things. I know that there's so many local businesses surrounding my office. These guys don't know how to set up an email. They don't know how to host a fucking website. They don't even know how to host a domain name. Can you go in and grab all of that stuff and charge for it? 100%. So even something as basic as that. And the only reason I'm saying that is because your name's Central WP. I'm going to guess that you do something with WordPress or something like that in some kind of capacity, doing updates to websites, even going after smaller businesses who just want images and stuff done, charge per the hour, and do all these kind of small small changes to websites. Because people, the problem is people are lazy and can't be asked. If they think there's a guy there that can just do that shit, they can just email it over. They're happy. So
for sure.
Things like that, I'd go in and then learn and adapt from there.
Zapier integrations, setting up those flows, man, like what a pain in the butt to try to find somebody that could set up advanced triggers and get everything to work. That's an opening. Stuff like that. Integrating other pieces to the puzzle. Man, that's helpful. That would be helpful. That'd be easy money. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Flavia, good to see you. I've analysed a lot of websites from the USA, and I've noticed that many sites have almost no content. I mean, e-commerce websites. Is that something you see?
Well, I think because depending on the e-commerce site, especially if it's on a platform, they make it relatively difficult to rank that content, like on a Shopify, right? So that could be why. Or maybe they're just not well-versed, or they're running a lot of traffic, like paid traffic to those assets. So there could be a number of reasons, really.
That's the thing, because she goes on to say some don't have a blog, but it still ranks in the first 20 positions. So backlinks remain the most important. Not necessarily. The argument here, Flavia, is, see if you've not got content, you can't rank for a keyword regardless of what backlinks you point at it. So it's not a case of backlinks is the the key to the I am a backlink builder, and yes, I think they're important. However, there are other components, but like Chris says, they could be running paid ads, or just have an amazing brand name, and running all that traffic might give them inflated rankings because they're getting all those engagement signals and everything else. So that is something that obviously you can go in and pitch, or beat, or whatever you're trying to achieve. Because they're not doing it doesn't mean that's the right thing to do. I think content is king. If you want to rank for a keyword, you've got to have a page about it on your website. So it's as simple as that. So that particular person, yes, might rank for the first 20 positions for the stuff that's on the website, but what about all the other money that's left on that table? I'd be looking to grab it all up. So and so for me, content is obviously massive as well. But I get it. E-com stores, they want to just show their products, click now, buy now, bang, bang, bang. They don't want hordes of fucking text all around it and all the other bullshit that goes with SEO. So you're always going to be fighting with the e-commerce owners over that.
Yeah, and look at those pages too, like e-com. We were doing rugs, Moroccan rugs, and like there might not be any content, but the densities are sky high. A lot of the competitors had a really strong social presence, so they're running traffic. They're buying ads. The densities are super high on page. The internal linking is out of this world. Plus, they're allocating tons of budget on high authority links. So, with all those other factors at play, there's more ways to win than just having the content and just the links, So I'd really look at all the pieces, other than just, hey, this site doesn't have any content and barely any links. Well, what else is... There could be other factors playing that, for sure.
For sure. Loud Egg. Chris, I'm trying to get down to just one category in GMBs, but can't let go of the second one many times. Doesn't that second category bring in some more potential clients?
Potentially, at least for me. I found that the primary center of the business is around one topic or one idea, and everything is just like you said, secondary. So if 80% of the business is coming for the primary, then I want to center all, I might catch another 20%, but it's going to dilute me from the primary. So I just target, where's the money at? What is your business about? That's what we target. That's what we optimize everything around. That's how we do it. And it's been successful for us. So that's my recommendation. Kill it. Go after the 80, go after that 80%. Where's the money at? Go for that.
Talking about that, Sacklane is saying, what's the ratio of information and commercial content you follow for your affiliate websites, Chris? Is there a specific ratio? Do you care? Is that 80-20 thing a bit of a myth, or what's your...
Well, for the affiliate projects, if I have one product page, I probably have 10 pieces of information content. So if I have a, top 10 best, and then I'm going to build out probably 10 pieces of content in order to promote that, let's just say. So
90-10 in favor of informational to you?
I would say that there's probably going to be that's probably 80-20 is probably very good to say. 90-10. There's going to be far more informational content other than straight up transactional for an affiliate site, at least recently. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen so many websites get slapped over the past couple of years that are just full of commercial content. So the best this, the top 5 that. I think, in terms of keywords or topical clustering and stuff, you do need those supporting articles. I just think that's the right thing to be doing anyway. So, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say you have to go for 80-20 or 90-10 or whatever. If it works out that it's 70-30 or 65-35, it is what it is. Yep. Do not try and go because Chris Palmer said his is, one thing, and 10 sporting articles. That's his strategy and it works for him. But, if there isn't the opportunity for 10 supporting articles in the niche that you're in, then you don't have to just come up with any old crap just to say, because Chris said a specific number. So, because I hate it when someone in the industry says a number and then everyone sticks to it like rigidly for stuff. So I just want to make that clear. But always in the favor of informational is what I'd say.
For sure.
Plumber Bookings Pro. I checked Chris's website and it's ranking for various city and keywords in the United States. Do you think Google stacking helped you rank?
I'm sure it did help because early on it was part of the process. So of course, absolutely. I used it early on. It was very, very effective. But as time has progressed for me, it's just so much easier and faster to do things a little bit differently. Yeah, I mean, but if I was low on budget, would I still use that as a hub? Sure. But I think there's faster or more optimal ways to do things. That's all.
And that comes with time and experience and testing. Loud Egg, I feel your pain. I share the same name as an American singer and a Canadian comedian. And it's not easy to bump someone like that off. But keep trying. Keep trying, mate.
Bump them off.
Glenart. As a suggestion, I'd like to see a special session on majestic link graphs and how to use them with practical examples. If that is not possible, is there a good video you can suggest? Believe it or not, I was actually asked for that today in my mastermind. Not saying I'm going to release it on YouTube, but I might if I feel it's helpful. But yes, there seems to be a few people looking for that, so it might be an idea for a video for you as well, Chris. Whether that's in your membership area, your mastermind, or live on YouTube, I'm not sure. But hey,
that would be helpful for the masses, I think.
Yeah,
free here. Yeah.
Yuri, best link building strategy. What is the best link building strategy, Chris?
I don't think there's any individual one thing. I think it depends on your vertical and the competition ahead of you. However, if I had to boil it down to one simple thing, building let's say two. So the highest authoritative links that I could get that are cost effective. And then the number one thing would be building into the link graph. So which links does the leading competition have? Like, what do they have specifically? I think that's one of the better ways and the fastest ways to achieve rankings quicker, for sure. It's really easy in the local space because you can acquire those types of links relatively quickly. But in the affiliate and e-com, it's a little bit more difficult, or I should say more pricey, really, is what it is. Yep. But local, you can pretty much match their backlink profiles in most cases.
Don't know if I believe in this. Plumber Bookings Pro.
Thanks.
Come on, man. Come on.
22. I don't know what these. I guess if it wasn't for these, maybe, but I don't know.
Are you a tall fella? I can't remember. Someone told me. Like you're short ass.
Very short. Yep.
I think
short.
It was Brad and Mike, I think, who obviously met you last year at their event, and they were surprised. I think they either thought you were tall and you were a short ass, or vice versa. I remember Brad telling me, he's like, fuck.
Slightly taller than Brad, but not by much. Not by much.
Just when you stand next to Mike, you're like
5'7".
I didn't realize you were like 7'5".
Oh yeah, Mike is like this. I was like this. Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing when you meet people in real life and they're like, you're different from what I thought. You're like,
I'm just a short little chubby guy. Yeah.
Aren't we all? So old PC games, send Fiverr links to social profiles and citation. Is it good or bad? Could I get any practical benefit of doing that? You ever do stuff like that, Chris?
I have. Maybe not from Fiverr, but that level of quality. So like, do I like to maybe send a cleaned GSA list to already existing citations? Definitely. I enjoy that immensely because the assets are already in place. So I'm just looking to pick up what I already have, especially at the early stages of a campaign. Like, what do you already have in place? How can we lift up the overall authority of what's already there? So not necessarily fiber, but that level, like, like GSAs or your SEO autopilots, that type of stuff. I like that for citations, even press releases, pretty much anything that's really low too. Like, if the UR scores are relatively low, I like to pick those up for sure.
Interesting. Darren, one brick and mortar biz area serve page in the main nav or in the footer, or does it even matter?
So one brick and mortar business, so in one state. So that's going to be the top level category page, we'll say. So it's going to be primary service plus state, and then everything else is underneath it. If you're only servicing one state, I would go header, footer, and in the body. For sure. Maybe even some more if you can. But yeah, as many places as possible if you're only in one area.
Yeah.
But if you're in other states, then I would individualize each state, and then any city that's in that state, I would make individual silos per state. Yeah. And I only link to that state in that silo.
Easy peasy. Loud Egg is saying he's had success with not even displaying it in the main nav or the footer. It's about how you keep that shit in the index, whether you're pumping links at it or whatever. But hey, each to their own. But I think having a good silo structure and making sure that Google can get to easily is your safest bet. So there you go. How to get hired as a virtual assistant as an SEO beginner. Put yourself in Upwork, websites like that. Freelancer, SEO clerks, legit.
Dynamite jobs. Yeah. Forums, Facebook groups.
You made a fuck ton of money from Black Hat World, right?
At one point, yes. It was very nice. Well, what's a F ton of money, though?
Well,
yeah. I did get quite a bit of sales out of Black Hat World, yes. Absolutely.
You made enough to keep yourself alive, put it that way.
Definitely, for sure.
So, money to be made everywhere. Get on some of those. SEO Underground, Paul Hogden, has made 5 figures this month of reskinning old WP sites. Easy peasy. Yuri, what do you think? Will Google stop affiliate sites one day? That would be harder to create affiliate sites. I'm not sure Google are in control of that, to be honest. They can't control that. A site's a site. Google can't stop affiliate at all. There's always going to be probably a requirement for it. So let's say someone comes out with a new SEO. Let's say Chris Palmer comes out with a new SEO tool. The first thing he's going to come and chat my door, Craig, you promote this to your audience and I'm going to give you some commission for it through an affiliate link. Every business starts that way, and I just can't see why Google would want to stop business growth, first and foremost. But secondly, what could they do to stop that? Not a lot.
I can see them putting the more authoritative sources first, though, and pushing down those types of assets. But
that comes down to you and how you build a brand. And what we always preach is, see if you're going to do affiliate, do it properly, build it as a brand, treat it as a real website. That's why the EAT and all the other stuff's really fucking important, because they are flushing out the crap. There's more websites being built on a day. I don't know what the figures are these days, but in terms
crazy.
Of being added and stuff, it's billions. And of course they're going to have to flush some of that crap out. So sure. Yes, but that's where you talk about EAT and building up your social profiles and doing all the other kind of stuff, and make it treat it as a real asset. Don't treat it as something that you check once a month and slap some shitty content on it. That is where you're going to get slapped with the updates.
Oh yeah.
Aaron has a question. If you had 5 service keywords and 5 locations you want to rank in, Would you create all 25 pages totally unique?
If those are the big primaries in the primary locations, yes, I would. Yeah, if it's for a client. I mean, you could probably get away with, changing out certain things, but if you wanted to do it right from the very beginning, would I build out individual pages for each of those location plus services? Definitely. If for a client, but I've taken shortcuts and I've recently gotten slapped for it. So yeah, yes, I would definitely build that out. And then always keep in mind too, each of those pages, it's hard when I'm talking with clients. It's like, okay, you want to target all these areas. Let's start with the most profitable because I have to build out the location-based service page. And then I need to build out 3, maybe more pieces of content in order, because I don't want to build links here. I want to build links over here because I don't want to have to spend $100 a piece on links. So always be mindful too, if I'm building out unique pages for location-based service, also keep in mind, I need to allocate budget towards, informational-based content. Yeah. Which is fun. Super fun.
Loud egg, yeah. Sacklane is saying, guys, we've got 313 people watching, only 7 likes.
Yeah.
People are so lazy. Give us some likes, guys, if you're watching, even if you don't like us. Right.
Give a thumbs down then.
Yeah. Nikhil, for my plumbing site, if I want to rank for water heater repair, if I build 10 articles related to it but don't have individual searches, will this be helpful for the site?
So you want to rank for water heater repair. Again, it comes down to, are you only in one location? If you're in multiple locations, I would build more than one. But let's just say it's one location. Would I build out a page for water heater repair for that one location if I wanted to win it? Definitely. For sure. You're not your site is only about what you get traffic for. So if you don't have a page, you're never going to get traffic for that. So you can't rank if you don't have it, So
he's also saying, though, if he builds 10 articles related to it, but he doesn't have any individual searches, will this be helpful for the website? So I think if you're going to be adding crap to your website for the sheer hell of hitting what I said earlier, like Chris has said, he adds 10. If there isn't searches for it, then you cannot add supporting articles for it. If there's only 3 or 4, then that's the figure for that particular thing. You do not add stuff just because Chris said 10 is all I can say. And it's you can't follow everything to a rule. If it doesn't make sense to do something, don't do it.
Of course,
is all I can say.
I wouldn't just build out 10, but yeah, if the niche is calling for it, yeah, build out the 10, but it should be supporting that main article. But yeah, don't just follow. Yeah, definitely don't just follow, just a number randomly. Like it could be different for your niche. What's the competition doing? How many other variations of the keyword are there? How many questions are there? And which ones actually have volume? Is there even people looking for it? Because I get that a lot too, where they'll have a primary service page. They'll give me a list of content to build out that's supporting. And then I'm looking at the keywords and I'm like, there's nobody looking for these, So yeah, make sure it's worthwhile.
It could also be in the flip side though. Chris has said 10. The answer might be 20 supporting articles.
For sure.
So it can have the flip side as well. Anyway, Judy says, Craig, I saw you master social media marketing. What do you think besides SEO to master Google Ads? Is it better to be focused on one thing? And was social media marketing a distraction in my career? I don't think so. This is my perception, Judy. I've been in this industry for 20 years. And throughout my journey to building an agency, 15 years ago or whenever I started building the agency, I had to do pay-per-click myself. I had to do SEO. I also had to be the invoice guy, the sales guy, and a whole bunch of other stuff, including social media. These days, things are different where, people have niched down and become a master on ads, or a master in Facebook ads, or a master just in social media. Was social media a distraction in my career? No, I've got a broad range of skills that I've developed over 20 years. I wouldn't say it distracted me. You as well, Chris. You are an SEO enthusiast, if we want to call it that. That is what your obsession is.
For sure.
But you fuck around with YouTube. You probably fuck around with a whole bunch of other stuff. Do you find that distracting, or just part of the job, or how do you see it?
Yeah, it's part of the ecosystem. I think, yeah. I don't think it's a distraction. There are distractions that come up when messing with other things, but I think it's part of the learning curve. So I don't think it's. I wouldn't call it a distraction. More like a pain in the butt.
Yeah. So I think when you do it, Jury, and you've got a team in place and you've got your systems and processes in place, you do free up time. How do you further enhance your business? Should I be on YouTube? Should I be more in social media? What is working? What's getting engagement? And for me, social media, showing a bit of character and personality, showing some fun stuff, showing a mixed bag of stuff seems to work well for me. I exhaust anything that's working well for you is what I would say. If something's working, like YouTube clearly works for Chris, then why wouldn't you exhaust it? And he's thrown out videos every other day, even in the middle of the night. He doesn't give a shit. He probably enjoys it. He's that sick. I think you follow what's working, as long as you've nailed down the other part and you've got the processes or someone's looking after it. Because what you don't want to do is ignore something that was working to jump over here and try social media, and it's maybe not as effective or not as lucrative or whatever. So just bear that part in mind, but certainly not a distraction. I think any good marketer shouldn't just focus on one type of traffic.
Vertical.
That's the way it is.
Yep, that's something I agree. Not just content, not just one platform, but distribution. I think it helps the overall machine too.
Yeah,
that's what I'm working on. How can I get better distribution across all the social medias at the same level, like the same pace?
Yeah, but some just don't work. Like Instagram doesn't have the same traction for me. Our industry, sadly, not a visual one.
Right.
So it is what it is. But Henry, I also wish this too. Maybe someone could come up with something. Dune, good to see you. So we've got a last couple of questions before we are out of time. We've got 2.5 minutes, so we'll try and go through them as quickly as we can. When writing info content, where do I find good supporting terms and related keywords, Chris? Any great tool or any great way of doing this?
SEMrush is great for coming up with these types of questions or related topics. Looking at competition, what are they currently doing? Frequently asked questions, related searches. I think that's SEMrush, related searches. I think that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else.
Other tools, keywords everywhere and all that kind of stuff, do all of this stuff for you. So there are tools out there where you can do that if you can't be asked doing it yourself.
Sure.
Santosh, how to target business to business leads through SEO and social media SMO marketing.
B2B leads. Well, what's the difference between an affiliate term or an e-com term or a local term? The difference is the keywords. So if you're targeting business to business leads, then what are the primary drivers for that type of business? And I would centralize my strategy around that. So when you're building out your sites or you're building out social, I'm this. That's what it's all I could come up with.
Hopefully that helps you. Nikhil, let's say if I want to rank plumber in Dallas, do you think using the keyword multiple times would help? Like how to choose the right plumber in Dallas, benefits of hiring a qualified plumber, etc. He's talking about in the blog post, I think.
Well, see, those seem hyper related. So I would be very cautious or just be sure. Like do a search. Like those questions that you're asking, do a search. Is Google showcasing the same results each time? Because you want to make sure that you're seeing different results on each of those searches. Because then it would warrant, hey, I should have another page. But if Google thinks it's the same topic, same idea, showing you the same results, then it should be included into a single page. All right. So those types of questions sound like maybe in a FAQ section, or, it could be an H3 on the page, but that's usually the process. Like, hey, what's Google rewarding? Is it the same sites? Am I going to be competing with myself? That's what I'd be looking at.
Yeah. Is Google catching on to news networks that are publishing junk articles that are not relevant to the website, mixed stuff? Yes, I think so. Do you see that, Chris, where these news networks are just getting slapped all over the place because they post everything and anything?
Yeah, I think anything that is pushed to the max over time is going to be devalued. However, those niche specific and smaller ones, I can still see opportunity, but keep it close knit. Yeah, for sure.
Chris, where can old PC games find you for link building packages?
So Chris Palmer Marketing, there's 3 buttons on there that say buy services. So just go to Chris Palmer Marketing. You will run across it. It's there for sure.
Live IRL fans there. Lexus here. Giorgio, how would you structure a website siloing goods on an international Italy, France, Germany, UK, and USA? How would you silo that on an international website, Chris?
Well, wouldn't each of those have their own individualized versions? So usually how I see it, when I see them done well, they'll be a little, almost looks like, well, I just have in my mind, like a recent site I was looking at, it had these little orange boxes up at the top. It was individualized pages. I never really do that personally to give you, hey, step 1, step 2, step 3. But I would look at people that are in front of you that are doing it successfully, try to mimic that. But I do local, so I don't want to say one thing and it be another. So I'm not the guy for that question.
But yeah, you have different URLs. If you look at Amazon, their structure is the best in the format I would follow. I would have a domain specific for each country. That's how I would do it, and just keep the structure similar. Obviously, language relevant and all that stuff. ZD Aleki is ranking for the affiliate products. Is it worth adding many more and short videos of the tools in action? Why not?
If you have the time, definitely, for sure.
All down to time, effort. Would you buy a tool from a website where you were able to see the tool in action, or would you buy it from a text-heavy page? There's your answer. We want to see the tool working, what it looks like, and all that stuff. So,
for sure,
for me, I think that's only going to help your conversions and keep people on the website and everything else. So,
1,000,000%.
Ask yourself the question, and it's always normally like, yeah, that makes sense. I know I would like to see.
Exactly.
But sadly, guys, we are out of time. That was much better. A lot more questions.
Yeah, that was a good day.
Did manage to get through them all. Hopefully, if you didn't get your question answered, it didn't appear on the chat. But, guys, before we do go, check out ODYS. Check out Chris Palmer SEO on YouTube, on his website, whatever. Just Google Chris Palmer SEO. I'm sure you'll find them somewhere. And do please leave us a like and subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed the content. And we are here weekly, 5 p.m. UK time on a Wednesday. And always happy to answer any questions you've got. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Also, thank you to you as well, Chris.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Next week.
Have a good day.
See ya.
See ya.